I am your host, Keith Andrew, along here with Diana Cabuto, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
You're welcome. Pleasure.
Now, for people who want to know what Uncensored is, Uncensored's my way to show people that even with a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life, at the same time turning myself into a perfect example for people out there, deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair, that you should never label yourself or have people label you, and you should prove to them you can still amount to something. And that's the whole purpose of my talk show, just making a statement.
Great. That sounds great, like a great statement. I agree. We should all follow our dreams, and we're all capable of doing bigger and better things than we think we are. So, awesome.
I agree with you. Now, like this half-hour talk show, but you have as much time as you want. You can say anything you want, curse if you want to. It's uncensored. And
yes, I'm just kidding.
And it's just a normal conversation.
Okay, cool. Sounds great. Sounds like my kind of talk show.
So, starting off, what can you tell me about yourself?
Well, introduce myself. My name is Diana Cabuto. Everybody has a hard time spelling or saying my last name, but I'm proud of it. I'm a Latina, born and raised in Mexico, and I moved to the USA to follow a dream of acting. I love theater. I always loved dancing and music, and I thought it was just for fun because I was a kid. And then it became my career that I'm still struggling following my dream, but I'm still there. So I have amazing family. I have 4 sisters and 1 mother, of course, and my dad lives far away. We don't really communicate that much because my parents got divorced. But we grew up in an all-women family, so we have this idea of being strong women, capable, getting educated, and being successful in life and being independent. So my main goal in life is to be able to be a working actor that can constantly, do things and give back. Do charity events sometimes. I work for free sometimes if it's for education mainly, or for breast cancer. I've done a couple of race events for that. Miss North Hollywood 2013, that's something people don't know. I was in a pageant. I tried it because everybody should try different things. If it's an idea where you're like, should I do this, and why not? So I gave it a shot, and it was fun. Thanks to that, I'm able to go to hospitals and look like a princess for girls and motivate them to do things in life and educate themselves and have great self-esteem. So that's a little bit about me, yes.
Well, you do look like a princess. Yeah, see, you have that glow on your face.
Thank you so much. I think I'm a smile. When people smile, then it makes them beautiful. So, it's about smiling.
All right, now what about... the next question I was going to ask you, what about your high school history? Did you go to high school in the States, or did you go to high school in another country?
I went to high school in the U.S., but it was right across the border, so it was a lot of people just spoke Spanish, so my transition wasn't as, I would say, hard. I did get a culture shock a little bit, and I just have friends that were from my culture, because I just didn't know how to approach, other people, and I was scared, and I feel like they were the same. There was barriers there, there was groupies, just like in high school. There's the goth and the nerds and the cheerleaders. It was like the Mexicans and the African Americans and the white people and the sports. It was the same thing, and I didn't understand it that well, because in Mexico everyone's the same. We're all friends and we talk to everybody. So when I moved there, it was like a culture shock, because I couldn't do that. I was limited to who my friends were. One of the great experiences I had is that in our bilingual classes, we're learning English. We're all Mexicans, and this person from Japan came, and he didn't speak Spanish. But we're all speaking Spanish, and the teacher said, don't be rude, he doesn't understand what you're saying, he doesn't know you're making fun of him. He became our great friend. He learned a little bit of Spanish, we're trying to learn a little bit of Japanese, and he became our friend, and that's when I learned that we can all be friends. We can all embrace. We're all humans. So yes, I went to high school, and I try to learn English as fast as possible. But it was hard. I was scared of speaking the language. I learned how to write it, how to read it, how to understand it, but I was just afraid of speaking, especially when you start and you have the accent and people do make fun of you. You're like, oh, I don't want to speak. But if I'm going to live here, I had to deal with it. And I learned to embrace it and be like, yeah, I'm Latina, and so what? I have an accent, but I speak two languages. You don't. So I went there for 3 years, and then I decided to go to college in San Diego. I was a business major. I wanted to be like my mother. I wanted to have a good career and make good money and raise my children right and have a husband, everything structured the way my mom taught us. But I love dancing and theater, so I slowly transitioned into that until I decided, okay, I'm going to make it my career and I'm going to do this. So I'm 30 years old, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 15. So technically, I'm half and half. Like, you know, I'm Mexican American. Like, half of my life, I experienced a culture in Mexico and experienced a culture here. So now I have friends who are like African American, Caucasian, everything. Like, I can understand, communicate, like, relate to them as much as I can relate to my own culture. So I feel great. Living the dream a little bit. Struggling, but living the dream.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, did you do any sports?
Yes, that's interesting that you're asking that question, because I was always very short, and my sister was like 3 inches taller than me, although she was only 11 months older. So it looked like I was much, much younger, and I wanted to, like, you know, how can I be taller? And they're like, hey, if you play basketball, you know, you can't, like, you're gonna get, like, a height, a better height. So I started doing that in 7th grade, still in Mexico, 7th, 8th, and 9th. When I started, I was really bad, but I went to every single practice, even for the younger kids and the older kids. I was there every day. My coach was like, you're here again, but I was really committed. I wanted to play. I wanted to be in the team. So by the time I was in 9th grade, I was in varsity, going for nationals and playing with the All-Stars, and it was great. But when I went to high school and I tried out for the team, they put me in JV. They, you know, the way they play here was a little different, but I dropped out because I couldn't understand the coach, and I got frustrated. She spoke English to me. She got frustrated that I understand. So I just figured if I just go out there and play good, she'll be okay with it. But no, she had she had her board, and she had a game we have to follow, which I did not understand. So I was not playing according to her rules or her plan. So she kept me in the benches most of the time. I brought my mom the first day, and I was excited. She saw me mostly in the bench. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna wait until I learn English and come back. But I never did. So I was always like self-conscious and scared to go back. So I stopped it, unfortunately. I play with friends, and but that's the sport I played, and I was good. But then other things happen, you know, boyfriend and drama and prom and school and college, and then you just kind of get off track. So.
Well, if you're interested, I would like to play challenge you to a game of basketball.
A game of basketball? Sometimes you think you get bad. I haven't played for 8 years, but I did play one, and I was still really good. It's just physical condition. I was like, oh my god, I'm so tired. Like, but I think I can do it. Yeah, why not? Anytime.
All right. What about in your college years? Were you study nerd, party animal?
Let me close the door. It's a lot of noise in the back. I was a party animal. In Mexico, you can go out clubbing and drink when you're 18. So by the time I went to college, I was only 17, and I got myself a fake ID. and went out because all of my friends were older, and because I love dancing, yes, I love clubbing. I was never the type of girl that had to be dragged out of the club, wasted and drunk. It happened to me once. I think it was my birthday, and I just kept drinking, not pacing myself. So I did have drunk experiences, but I was always responsible in school. I always got good grades. I was late all the time, but on the test, I always got A's and B's, and so I felt like I had the right to party because I'm still responsible. If you go party and you got F's and your parents are just constantly mad at you and you do drugs, that's not right. But if you know how to pace yourself and be a good student and still have fun, then go for it. Some people couldn't do it. Some people are like, I don't know how you do it. I studied all day and I got a B. You went out, you partied, you came back, you studied a little bit, and you got an A. But it's just like every day in school I paid attention, I made my notes, I knew what I was doing. I didn't wait like last minute to be able to memorize like the whole chapters that we went through. So I would say like I'm always being a party but responsible individual.
All right. What about in college? Did you continue to do any sports, or did you just focus on your studies?
I only focus on my studies because the university that I went to, Cal State San Marcos, northern of San Diego, it was a new school. It had been open for only like 10 years, so they didn't have any teams. The only team they had was track and field for runners, and they had a lot of foreigners coming in, and it's a big business school. That's why I chose to go there, because I wanted to be in business. That was my major, my idea of what I wanted to do. So there's no basketball teams, there's no volleyball teams. Then they started doing soccer, which I never played, and so there was no teams anyways. So I kind of like forgot about that, because I was like, there's no teams anyways. And I also felt like I haven't played since high school. I may not even make it, because college level, it's like, you've been playing for a long time. From varsity in high school, you go to, college level, whatever sport. But there's no basketball there, so I didn't. They were barely building the gym when I started school, so.
All right. Well, did you ever get to do, a lot of people refer to as to cheerleading, but it doesn't always have to be to cheerleading. You can do it for fun. Did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not a human pyramid girl?
I tried in middle school. Our cheerleading team in our school was really good, and also the basketball team. But I had to choose between basketball and cheerleading. I wanted to do cheerleading because I wanted to be feminine and they get a lot of attention from the boys, and I wanted to do that. In basketball, you're more like a tomboy girl, and like it's different. But I love the sport so much, and I love my coach. When I tried cheerleading, I made it to the team because I was really tiny and skinny. Like, yes, I was the one on top of the pyramid, but I didn't get to perform at a game because I had conflicts with basketball and cheerleading. So my coach said, either you do cheerleading or you do basketball. And I chose basketball because I had great friends. My coach had trained me for 3 years. I couldn't just toss it in the trash and just because, I want to be girly, I'm going to do cheerleading. So I dropped it and I never went back. And there's no cheerleading in college either. In high school there was, and they were bad. And everyone said they were horrible. So, yeah, I decided not to. And there was mostly white girls, and they were very girly, very kind of like mean girls type of girls. So I didn't connect, and I didn't want to be in that environment. I just chose not to, so.
All right.
Not saying that cheerleaders are great and friendly and nice. I'm just saying that's what they seem, so I stayed away.
What about the whole, like I mentioned, the whole pyramid thing, where you do you do it for fun, or do you just it's one of those things where you have to do it, or you just not a fan?
Well, I kind of had to do it because I was the shortest one and one of the tiniest ones. And the girl that I always did it was about to graduate, so they needed like a replacement. So they started training me how to do it, how to lean back and just letting go. But I dropped, so they picked somebody else. There was like 2 other girls, so I didn't get a chance to actually do it like at a game. And it's scary because girls have had a lot of accidents, and I just think like there was a reason why I didn't do it. The uniform was really expensive too, and my mom, having us 4, it was hard already because we were all in school, and she was a single mother, you know. So the uniform was really expensive. She had just bought me the basketball uniform. That reminds me that was another reason. I can't have my mom now buy me. Oh, never mind. Now I want to be a cheerleader. If I was an only daughter, spoiled maybe. So, yeah, I never got to wear the uniform. I never got to perform, but it seemed like a lot of fun. It wasn't as like an adrenaline rush as much as basketball though. So you make points, you feel accomplished, you do teamwork. This one was more like, I don't know. Well, the pyramid had to be teamwork. They had to catch you and everything, but it wasn't the same. And I'm glad I didn't. I'm just glad that I stayed with basketball. I made great friends that I still talk to. So, yeah, that was my pyramid story.
Well, like I said, if you have any questions you want to ask me, you're more welcome to. Or if there's any subjects you feel I'm passionate about, you know, I would love to hear it.
Well, I wanted to know a little about you, like, because I know you're doing this blog and everything, and I think it's great. And what's your background, or what's your your story a little bit? Like, I know that you're very committed to people that, like you said, like handicapped, or people that are, they think, oh, I can't do this, to motivate them to do so. What got you to do this? Is it a personal experience, or is it like, what is it?
Well, when I started, I had my talk show in 2004 when I was in high school, sophomore year. And at the time, I wasn't taking it seriously. I kind of wish I did. But I couldn't have many guests at the time, and you know, I just wanted to get through high school, and you know, I worked in retail. I got sick out of my own stupidity. That's another story. If you want to hear it later. So basically, when I was recovering, it's like, no, I really don't want to work in retail anymore. I'm gonna do something that I'm gonna prove to people I can make a difference. And one day I was like, fuck it. I have a learning disability, and for the longest time I was using it as a crutch, saying, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I was like I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do it and prove to people. If it even backfires in my face, at least I can say I attempted to do something.
Exactly, like you tried, yeah.
In 2010, well, before 2010, I had my own network. I was the Keith Andrew Inc. or something. And people are like, you can't call yourself Inc., you can't call yourself Incorporated. Why? Would you call it? You're not incorporated, you can't do that. So
yeah.
I had to erase it and create a new one, and I call it the KeithAndrewNetWork. This is now back in 2010.
Yeah.
And I started off making fan-made videos, like the one you're going to help me if you're still okay with it. I made fan-made videos, I made tribute videos, and I was like, oh, that's great, you know, using the Dumbo Jumbo Book or Justice League videos and putting my own spin on it. That's great, but everyone else is doing the same thing. I want to be different. I want to stand out more. And I came up with an idea a year ago to have my own talk show. And at the time, I got 72 different interviews. I interviewed people from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to Dragon Ball Z to Spider-Man. Unfortunately, my mistake was it wasn't like this, what we're doing now. It was just an audio conversation. And people asked me about... Yeah, hang on 1 minute, please. This stupid thing on my computer keeps popping up. It's really obnoxious.
Oh, I thought it was me. I was like, what is it? I was trying to find it. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So I was saying,
It was only audio?
Yeah, it was only audio. And I tried getting sponsors. At the time, people were saying to me, oh, you have a great format, and you should be, why aren't you as bigger as you are? And you should be as taking advantage of it. You have a great format, each of you get sponsors, and the sponsors send me what's your audience, and I was like, I have an audience? That's news to me.
Yeah.
And they said, well, if you don't know anything about your audience, do it over. Just what I'm doing for, a whole year. I had to do it over. And luckily I'm up to number 38, so I'm halfway there. And I'm thankful to have you on my talk show. It's a real honor and privilege. And the people I interviewed the first time said, oh, you're doing the talk show over? Okay, you're doing it? Okay, no problem. Had fun the first time, why not? Let's do it the second time. And there's other people I interviewed the first time says, oh, it was a one-time thing, or if you want to do it again, you have to pay us for our time. Or they said they weren't interested. It's, more hypocrites than anything.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, I'm busy, or like things that, like if you don't have a huge following, they think, oh, it's not that important. But you never know where things are gonna get to. Like everything started small. Every single video people put out there, everything that was viral, at one point it was small, or people were told, oh, that's not great, or it's got too many bad words, or it's not typical, or because the host is not a famous celebrity. But everybody started somewhere, so you just gotta give yourself the opportunities. And there's a lot of artists like us, because we're not like, I don't know, like Justin Timberlake, we're not Justin Bieber, we're not Miley Cyrus. We don't get called for interviews at all, because they're like, well, she's not that famous, or she's not known, so that's not gonna get views, so why call them? But there's a lot of artists who are getting there, who would love to be interviewed, and be heard, because you don't know where we're gonna be tomorrow, or where you're gonna be tomorrow. So I think it's a great idea. I started an actor's blog, barely editing them. I have like 5 or 6. I'm just posting the first one, what is just, at first it was just myself when I get stressed about an audition, and I just come to the camera and kind of like, if it's my strength, and say, oh my god, like, this audition sucked, or whatever I'm feeling, and now, because my friends really liked it, they're actors, singers, musicians, they're going through a lot, they want to, hey, I want to do it. They want to come and it's just 3 minutes, one take, not edited, no sound. It's just random. Like, what are you doing right now? Come shoot. Like, there's no, oh, let me get my hair and makeup ready. And just come and say something that happened to you, bizarre, related to your dream, whatever you're following as a musician, or like, oh my god, I have this crazy fan who, wrecked my shirt, or like things, things like that. So, even if I don't get a lot of views at first or followers, it's okay, like you say, you gotta find the fun of it and see where it goes, It may take off, it may not, so at least you're doing it, like you said, at least I did it, and it's there, so congratulations, I'm happy for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I was gonna say it before, but I didn't want you to think I was hitting on you. But when you got up, I liked your outfit.
Thank you. I'm a very casual person. I didn't mention I'm a dancer for a company, for a burlesque company. We do comedy, theatrical, aerial, fire. I don't do fire or any of that. I just dance. And we always have to have like nice dresses, well put together, heels, and I love it. But when I'm home, I'm just my shorts, and my t-shirt, and that's it. So I'm very simple, and a lot of people think I'm a little stuck up, because when they see me with the heels, or like Miss North Hollywood, ooh, she's trying to be all that. But that's what these interviews are about too. Like, you get to know the people, like who they are, who they really are, in their natural environment. So I'm glad to do this. I'm happy. Thank you for that.
No, the pleasure is all mine. It's a real honor.
I don't mind compliments. I like compliments.
If you're okay with it, could you do like a little spin?
Yeah, why not? Wait. my vlogs. I have one where I just came from a show, and I have my dress and everything, but and my heels, and I just came to the camera and turned it on and told a story about like a really creepy guy and how I was scared, and just it's funny. I haven't posted it yet because I want to do it slowly, like weekly or whatever. But I don't want to make it so that I tape it exactly every week because random things happen like right now. So it's very interesting. So.
Well, I do have a subject for you if you're interested.
Have a what?
I do have a subject I created a while ago, but I would like your opinion on it if you're okay with it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, always. I have like 4 different jobs. That's why when you ask me when are you like available, I'm like, oh, like I try to pace myself. But when an opportunity comes, I take it, and then I'm like, I'll take it, and then I'll figure it out how I'm doing it. I dance for the troupe. We have different shows, monthly shows, weekly shows. I'm in a play every Friday night, so that's tonight, about vampires. Very interesting. I work at a restaurant every weekend. I'm a waitress. It's like most actors are either bartenders or waiters. I do background work for movies sometimes, from time to time. You know, when they call you in and you're in the background and the actor's on the front. It's a good learning experience. So I do that sometimes, and I do audience work too sometimes for for talk shows where they need people in like to fill in for spots and seats in the audience. So they call you in, and I go sometimes to that too. So it's a crazy life, but I like it 'cause I'm very energetic and I like to do different things. So that kind of like helps me. So I'm always on my phone because I get emails or rush calls. Can you be here at the same time? I just got done shooting a movie, which I'm very happy about. It's a feature film. It's independent. It's not a known crew or actors or anything. But we shot for like 6 days, and I was there 2 days, and I met new friends. So that's a good thing. So like you said, making new friends and connections, and they're all trying to make it. And I was shooting that too. So my friends, when they want to hang out, they're like, "When are you free to hang out? You're always working." But I don't see it as much as work. You know what I mean? Like because I love doing it. For me, it's not really work. Yeah, sometimes I just want to be home and do absolutely nothing and just do nothing. But that hardly ever happens.
It's funny about people. I hear people saying it, but if you love doing something, it's not really work.
Exactly. It's not like, I know a lot of people say like leave some time for yourself, and things like that. But I just find it fun. Like shooting a movie to me is like playing. Like when you're a little kid, and you're like, oh, let's play cops and robbers or whatever. And in the movie, it's like playing a game. Of course, you're working, so it's like the responsibility of doing the job right. There's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of other things, but it's very fulfilling. It's very fun. So.
All right. Well, what I was gonna ask you was I came up with a subject, and it's not really a subject. It's more like a theme. I was looking at my audience. I have more of a female audience. And because I do have fan-made videos of Dumbo, Jungle Book, I kind of have a 15% younger audience. But for the guys, there's not really. This is basically a big fat zero.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking, how can I fix that? Well, it is the summer. Why not do something fun? So I was thinking about doing a summer theme. We're having my guests, they can be on and they can walk around with a beach ball or wear their swimsuits or whatever and just do like a summer theme. And then I was thinking about, I don't want people to think I'm sexist. Well, how about we do something else? So like for October would be a Halloween theme where you get to dress up in your favorite outfits. November, December, and January would be the holiday theme. You can dress up as your Christmas outfits. just do something different. And I was wondering if you would be interested in taking part of it.
Sure. Well, see, my dance team, our burlesque troupe, we every month we have a theme show. So whatever, this month, which is actually tomorrow, we have the show. It's a movie theme show. So every dance, every performance is based on the movie, and we have our own costumes and everything. And I'm doing Shaun of the Death. I'm doing a dance as a zombie. I always like to do fun stuff, So costumes, I have so many because we have different. We did a Christmas show. I was an elf. I had a dance as an elf, and we did the Mean Girls version of the Christmas, things like that. And we're the opposite. 80% of our audience is males because we're all girls, and we're dancing in costumes. They're like, oh wow, we have a cosplay show, which was really, really successful. I was Poison Ivy, and guys just love that, they it's not being sexist, I don't think, just because us as women, we do like attention. We like compliments. We may pretend we don't. We may be like, oh, that guy's creepy. I don't want him to say anything. But if they didn't, then you're like, am I ugly? What's wrong? I never get complimented, We're like, we lie when we say we don't. It's obviously if you don't cross the line, and not inappropriate to a certain level or a certain point. If someone says you're beautiful, you shouldn't be like, oh, go away. It's a compliment, and we like compliments. So I don't think it will be sexist. It's another thing to be like running around and kinky outfits and things like that. But another thing, it's making it fun. Making a theme, making it fun. And if you do like a contest, like monthly contest type of thing, that will be really fun because girls will really say, oh, okay. And I don't know what the prize would be. Maybe just like their name featured or whatever. They get motivated to do it. And the guys will be like, oh, let's see who won. And if guys want to participate and dress up too, then they can do it too. And I think that will make it more fun and interesting. It's just an idea, And I'll go for it, for sure.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And if you're, that's two questions for you. Did you ever have all your teammates in one place? Or maybe, if you're okay with it, maybe we can go do a group interview.
Oh, for sure. Well, we do rehearsals on Sundays most of the time. We're not dressed up or anything. We're just, rehearsing for our numbers. And we love, most of us, we're passionate because we don't do it for the money, the shows. Of course, it's good to make money, you buy new costumes and things, but we love doing it, and it'll be great to have everyone, and just they're all very bubbly and talkative. They're all like me. That's why we get along so well, and we can talk to the camera and say hi, and you can interview as the group if you want. As the theatrical group that we are and what we do and stuff, because as a group it's completely different from me, as an individual, so they will love it. We could do like a Skype interview and see what happens. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I look forward to it.
I actually have, I don't know, I wish like a flyer with their color. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Don't worry about it. It happens.
I was like, oh, maybe because we passed a half-hour interview and he just got off. I don't know.
Well, like I said, you have as much time as you want. And would you like to talk some more?
I'm pretty much done. I was just showing you my girls. The picture of the girls in the group. This was a circus theme show. So there's the ringmaster right there, and that's me right here, and all my friends, and then so this is what I do most of the time. We're called the Dollface Dames, and we've been doing shows in LA. Well, the group for like 7 years, and I've been with them with 2, and it makes me really happy. It makes me look like something to look forward to. You know, it reminds us of what's going to be the theme and what's going to be my costume. It's like being like a kid again, you know. And I think that's why I like acting and dancing, and you get to play different characters and do different things. So that's why I'm here in LA.
I was wondering, would you and your ladies, would you and your girls be interested in doing a couple, not to sound like I'm sexist or anything, but I always wanted to do a pyramid, you know, that was something I always wanted to do. But I know you're from LA and I'm from New York, but during the group interview, would you guys be interested in doing something like a pyramid, or?
A pyramid? You mean like ourselves doing it? Because we would, but we will need to practice it, and it may be dangerous. I don't know if they're gonna be like, I don't want to like get hurt, and because you know, like cheerleaders practice a lot to do it, and just doing it once will probably. I'll ask them, but interview for sure.
All right.
Some of them are paranoid. They're like, oh, you know, I don't want to like, because they're girls. Like, oh, I break my leg, and then and you know, as a dancer too, like you gotta be careful.
What about a dog pile? Is that easier?
A what?
A dog pile.
What is that?
Oh, that's just basically you just pile.
But you're sitting, right?
Yes.
Like you're like, oh yeah, maybe, yeah, sure. You know, well, I'll see. Like tomorrow we have a show and we rehearsed before. If it would be cool if we did it at the theater and we just had the computer, just talk to you a little bit and then do it. We're always rushing throughout the show, but I can ask them, and if not, we'll do it like eventually, you know.
Yeah. Oh, the pile with the dog pile, you can either do it either ways. You can do it like what you're doing, and you can have someone behind you and on both sides. It looks like you're doing a stack.
Oh, yeah. Then yeah, if it's safer, for sure. Yeah,
You ever lay it's if you have a mat, you have one you lay down first, and then your friends it does pile up. That's the other way.
Yeah, we can do it because I think the pyramid it's a little more dangerous because then like the girl at the top we have to go like their feet, and then it takes a little more practice. That's it. But they may get the idea like, hey, let's practice, and then maybe one day we can do it. Then we'll do it for sure.
All right. I don't mean to impose on you or anything.
No, don't worry. No worries.
Hey, well, is there any... I do have a couple more subjects for you, unless you want to skip it and just do the voiceovers.
No, you can go ahead. Well, I mean, you can... Let's do it.
Alright. I was going to ask you about everything going on with the... by the way, if you want to pass on it, you can just pass on it if you don't want to answer. But with everything going on with the whole border control thing, what's your opinion on it?
Well, I'm glad you're asking, actually. Well, I didn't have a problem because my dad worked the field and it was easier, so he became a citizen, and through him, before my parents got divorced, we were able to fix that. So for me, it was an easy transition. I didn't know how hard it was up until I was in college, and I have friends who were like undocumented. Is that what we're talking about?
Well, kind of, but I also meant it was all the kids. Well, they're pushing the kids just across the border.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the kids, but it's also like it's always the parenting, you know, and they don't know any better. So you can't blame it on the kids. If you say a kid, hey, you know, there's something better on the other side, go over there. They'll go over there. They don't know about rules. Most kids like breaking rules. They don't know any better. So I feel really bad for them. I don't think they have that intention. Although I feel like there's gotta be a control, because if they're like, oh, they're just kids, let them go and do their thing. Everybody who hears about this is gonna, well, I'm gonna send my kids to, and then there's not gonna be like a control, and then their parents are not there, then they gotta go to a foster home. They don't know what the future. It's more complicated than it seems to be. So it's something that both like U.S. and Mexico have to like come to some agreement and figure it out and really control this, because it's sad. I don't quite agree with the either way because I'm not sure where to stand. You know, I have pros and cons and different opinions about, you know, I think they're both things are kind of like extreme. Get him out or let him in. I think it's a little, you know, too extremist. There's got to be a solution that is midway, you know.
All right. Well, like I said, if you have any subjects you like to talk about or anything that gets you fired up, I would like to hear it, but it's up to you.
I probably do. I don't think of anything right now. I don't know.
What pisses you off?
What?
What pisses you off?
Bad drivers in LA. Just kidding. Honestly, like, there's things that, okay, I'm not a vegetarian. I love meat. But the way we're growing animals and doing food and killing them, the way that we're doing things, because there's so many humans, and I understand why, upsets me. Like, there's videos there of how, like, in China, they're just using dogs and throwing them in boxes alive, and it's so depressing, so sad and upsetting. I try to sign petitions often on change.org, and like I go there and sign it, but I feel like what else could I do? Like, I feel like I don't know, help. Like, I can't help as much as I want to. But there was an interesting article about the same thing they're doing to dogs in China, they do to pigs everywhere. And what's the difference? Because yeah, we eat bacon, but we don't see pigs as domestic animals, so we don't feel sorry for them. But yet dogs, because we grow with, you know, we have our pets, and we have like this, oh my God, they have feelings, and they're dogs, and they're like kids. But really, yes, this is true. What is the difference? Like, there's a couple farmers who have lived with like pigs, and they grow them and then do all that kind of stuff, but they're lovely animals as well. So why are we doing the same thing? Like, what's the difference? And I don't have an answer, and I start thinking like that's true. Maybe I should be a vegetarian, but like some of us are scared or don't know how to do it or whatever. So I try to eat most vegetables and a little bit of chicken, and I try to be organic as much as possible. It upsets me about the whole hormone thing and everything, chemicals that they're putting, because everybody's getting cancer now and everybody's getting sick, and the government just doesn't care. But I have an opinion, but I don't have the power to do much. But I feel like as long as you're aware of it and not ignoring it, you know.
No, I agree with you. I feel the same exact way.
You feel the same way? Yeah, it's just, and now Facebook, they post a lot of videos of violence and with animals and things, and I'm more aware. And I think that before, when I was little, there was no internet, like you were more ignorant because you didn't know what was happening around the world. And now with the internet and social media, you realize so many things. And you're also learning to be thankful for things, because there's countries where the women can't do this, the women can't do that, like there's violence and there's all these crazy things that you're like, okay, you know, we criticize the United States, but at the same time we have a lot of liberties and we got to be thankful for, and as long as you're a great human being and you try to be a good person and change someone's life, like little by little, like I go with like the hospitals, like make a little bit of a difference, and if everybody did the same, it would be like a different world. So I don't know. Like, we all have to have like a goal of making a little bit of a change. So
all right.
Yeah.
Well, wrapping up, do you have anything you want to say to your fans and listeners? Do you have any funny stories you like to share?
I have a lot of funny stories, but I can't think of any right now. I just want to say that thank you for giving me the interview. And I think that it's great that you're doing it, and I feel like other people should get out there and do what they love. And people that are listening, if you have something, I wish I could do this, but I don't know, just go for it. Do it, if anything. Try. It doesn't mean you're going to be successful or anything, but at least just say, hey, I tried, you know, and have fun with it and follow your dreams, and that's all I have to say.